Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever just looked around and felt like the old guideposts, the institutions, the beliefs that used to feel so rock solid are kind of crumbling, leaving us all feeling a bit adrift? If you have, you are definitely not alone. So today, we're going to get into exactly why that's happening, and more importantly, what on earth we can do about it. So let's get right into it.
This quote right here, it just nails the core problem. As those old familiar sources of authority, things like our communities, our shared values, start to fade away, they leave behind this vacuum. And you know what they say about vacuums? Something always rushes in to fill the void. In our case, that something is often new, impersonal forces, and yeah, a big one is the power of the state.
All right, so first up, let's talk about this retreat of authority. We need to really understand what authority even is and how the whole landscape of power is shifting right under our feet.
Okay, we've got to get clear on something right away. There are two very different kinds of authority. On one side, you have legitimate authority. Think of it as earned respect, the moral right to lead because people trust you. But on the other side, you have de facto authority, which is basically just raw power, the ability to make people obey, whether they trust you or not. The difference is absolutely huge. One is built on trust, the other on force.
And this slide shows you exactly how that's playing out. Think about where the rules used to come from. It was all personal, right? Your community, your faith, your family. That's who you answered to. But now, it's a whole different ballgame. Our lives are increasingly shaped by these giant impersonal forces. The state, the economy, and yeah, even the algorithms that decide what we see and do online.
And hey, this isn't just a government thing. As Noam Chomsky points out here, some of the most powerful, even tyrannical structures of authority aren't in Washington, they're in the economy. We're talking about massive, unelected, unaccountable forces that have an incredible amount of say over our lives, from our jobs to our financial futures.
So, what does all this mean for us, personally? With these huge tectonic plates of power shifting all around us, what happens to the individual? That's what we're digging into next, the crisis of agency.
Does this hit home? That feeling of being a tiny boat in a massive, stormy ocean? It's like the lighthouses you used to navigate by are getting dimmer and dimmer. And let me tell you, this isn't just some vague anxiety. It has real, tangible effects on how we feel and how we operate in the world.
Yeah, these feelings have real consequences. Our sense of personal agency, our ability to affect our own lives, it starts to shrink. We feel overwhelmed. We run the risk of becoming what the source material calls a supplicant to power, just passively waiting for someone else to tell us what to do. And this all leads to what sociologists call anomie. And that's just a technical term for a deep, gnawing feeling of being disconnected and isolated.
So, how do we start to fight back? What's the game plan? Well, the journey doesn't start by trying to take on the world. No, the first battle, the most important one, happens right here, between your own ears. It's time to master the inner game.
Now, when we say awaken the warrior within, don't picture some angry brawler. That's not it at all. This is about tapping into that primal, resilient part of yourself that has discipline, that has courage, and that has this quiet, unwavering determination to face whatever comes. It's the part of you that simply refuses to be a victim of circumstance.
So how do we actually do that? Well, a great place to start is by silencing that nagging inner critic. And you don't do it by fighting. First, you just acknowledge the doubts are there. Then you get curious. Where are they coming from? Third, you actively reframe challenges. They're not roadblocks, they're opportunities. And maybe most importantly, you have to cultivate self-compassion. Look, you've got to cut yourself some slack. It's the fuel you need for the long haul.
I absolutely love this idea because it completely flips the script on how we think about hardship. We're taught to see challenges as things that stop us. But what if they're the very things that make us? Adversity forces us to adapt, to learn, to get stronger. Your greatest potential isn't found in avoiding the fire, it's forged in it. Okay, so you started shoring up your defenses on the inside. Your mindset is getting stronger. Now it's time to take that inner resolve and apply it to the real world. This section is all about the outer game. It's all about strategy.
This right here is a total game changer. We're all obsessed with time management, but it's a lie. It's a myth. You can't manage time. You get 24 hours in a day, same as everyone else. But what you can manage, what you can control, are the events, the tasks, the priorities within that time. Just that one shift in thinking puts you right back in the driver's seat.
So what does that look like practically? Well, it comes down to a few key disciplines.
We got to stop trying to multitask. All the research shows it just shatters our focus. We get organized because physical and digital clutter creates mental clutter. And we kill procrastination by doing what they call eating the big frog first. You tackle your hardest, ugliest task right away. Each one of these actions builds momentum. It gives you back that feeling of control.
And look, this isn't just some nice theory. Check out these real-world examples. We've got a doctor who ditched the soul-crushing hospital system to start his own direct care practice, an educator who built a new kind of learning program to get away from rigid, outdated curriculums, a creator who built a business entirely on her own terms. What's the key insight here? They didn't just run away. They found a way to work around or within the systems to reclaim what mattered most.
If we boil down all those stories, we get a playbook with 4 core principles. It's about being smart, complying with rules when you have to, but intelligently, and choosing very carefully which institutions you even want to deal with. And it's also about being strong, managing your risk by building up buffers like an emergency fund, and building your own authority by becoming genuinely good at what you do.
Now, here's something crucial. Trying to do all of this in isolation, that's playing life on the hardest difficulty setting. This is not a journey you can or should take alone. To really succeed, you need to build your tribe.
And building that tribe is an active, intentional process. It means being selective about who you spend your time with. It means networking not just to collect contacts, but to find real collaborators. When you focus on building relationships based on mutual trust and support, you create a powerful community that becomes your single greatest asset.
All right, let's bring it all home. We've talked about the inner game, your mindset. We've talked about the outer game, your strategy. When you combine those two powerful forces, you begin to do something incredible. You begin to forge your own sovereignty. You create a new path forward. I think this quote just captures the goal perfectly. See, this isn't about being loud or angry or rebellious just for the sake of it. It's about developing this quiet, internal resolve. It's a deep-seated determination to move through the world guided by your own compass, on your own terms, not as someone begging for permission, but as a sovereign individual.
And this might be the most important takeaway of all. This is not a call to go live in a cabin and disconnect from society, unless, that's your strategic choice. For most of us, it's about replacing passive, mindless compliance with strategic, intentional engagement. It's about choosing your battles, building your strength, and dealing with the world from a position of purpose. So I want to leave you with this question. It doesn't have to be some monumental, life-altering decision you make by midnight. Just think, what is one step, big or small, that you can take today to start that journey? To move from being a supplicant to power, to becoming the sovereign ruler of your own life?